I feel for Ned because every time I work for him, he has to have the podium at the lowest possible rise here and then live with that for the rest of this time. Anyway, good afternoon. You can raise this thing up and down, but I'm vertically challenged, as you know. So
we all rise to the occasion, Victoria.
yeah, oh, good one, Ned. This is why he's paid the big bucks. All right, good afternoon. It's great to be back with all of you and pleased to be working for Ned. As you heard from the Secretary yesterday, the U.S. and NATO both delivered our responses back to Russia, and we believe that these responses offer a real opportunity for security improvements across the Euro-Atlantic area if Moscow chooses the path of diplomacy rather than that of conflict or sabotage. We and our NATO allies and partners have long been concerned about many of the same issues that Russia raised, and we have long wanted serious talks about these things, including intermediate and short-range nuclear weapons that can reach our allies' territory, and the need for more transparency and risk reduction measures and updated and reciprocal rules of the road for military exercises. And we, too, have concerns about weapons and military activity around Ukraine, including in Donbass and occupied Crimea. Between the U.S. and Russia, between NATO and Russia, and within the OSCE, we have resolved very difficult security and arms control issues before through negotiations. This was true even in the worst of times, and we need to do that again now. So it's on that basis that we hope Moscow will study what we have offered them and come back to the table, back to the bilateral table with the U.S., back to the NATO-Russia Council, and to the OSCE. You've heard us say that we coordinated our responses with our allies and partners, including Ukraine. I want you to know that the two documents that we gave to Moscow yesterday were the result of dozens and dozens of hours of consultation with individual countries, including Ukraine, at NATO, and among our OSCE partners. As the President said earlier this week, we are unified in our preference for diplomacy, but we are also unified in our resolve that if Moscow rejects our offer of dialogue, the costs must be swift and severe. Many dozens of hours of diplomacy at all levels are also going on now to prepare very painful financial and economic sanctions if we need them. The Secretary also talked yesterday about a number of other lines of effort that we're working on, including preparing U.S. forces to meet our NATO obligations as needed, supporting Ukraine's defense and economic needs, and working with Europe on energy solutions should Moscow cut off gas or oil. I want to take this opportunity to commend and thank the huge number of talented and creative people in this department, across the interagency, and in allied and partner capitals who are doing this work. Again, this is a moment for diplomacy and for cool heads to prevail. That's what we want. However, if President Putin rejects the peaceful negotiated path that we have offered, we must and we will be prepared. Thank you. Ready to take